where emergency services can access it, or if you've got a cleaner or somebody coming into your house and you want to leave the key somewhere where it's safe, you can use a key safe. And so this one here is made by Abus. I'm just going to open it up, give you a quick look at it. I'm going to give you some sizes on it too. One of the things that makes this one different to some of the other ones we have in our lock shop is the size. The size of this one is bigger, so it can allow some swipe cards and larger bunches of keys. On the front there's a flap, so that simply goes over the top. That's good to give it some sort of weather protection. They are built quite well, but not really designed to be, how do you say, flooded with water. But you could put it under an eave, an awning or something like that, and if it was to get a bit of splashes on and things, it should be fairly well right. Excluding, of course, if you put them close to the ocean, things generally do tend to corrode up. But it is a good mechanism, and you know, it does work quite well. A lot of strata buildings now are using these too, so they can leave the appropriate keys on site for tradespeople as well, officers, all sorts of people. So this is the product here itself, has the flap, and you simply pull this down and then you open up the key box itself. On the inside you have your instructions, multiple languages, and some screws to attach it. On the back of it you have 4 holes here, so you literally could just screw it to timber, a door, anything along those lines, or you could put it on a wall if you had some wall plugs. You know, you could use Dynabolts or wall plugs, however you really want to do it. The actual internal dimensions I'll give you in a moment. Now this part here, this is how you change the combination. It's really quite simple. As you can see here, there's a little line and there's a little arrow. So basically when they're facing up, they're off. When they're facing down, they're on. So at the moment, nothing is on whatsoever. So you could just pretty much go up to it, pull the silver button, and away you go. Before you use this box, the first thing to do once you've set your code is actually to use the reset. So every time you come up to this box, push the reset, then put your code in. The reason being is a lot of people, often kids and things, they come in and they start fiddling around with it. They push all the buttons and then you go to use your code on top of that and it's going to be the wrong code. So that's not going to work. We're going to pull the reset and then it will work. To set your code, you can do as many and as few of the combination you wish. So if you wanted to have 1 number or 6 numbers, you could set it, or 4 numbers, you can do what you want. Basically, if it's on, it's facing down this direction away from the tongue here. If it's off, it's facing this direction towards the tongue. So if you wanted to, let's say, set it to 1, 2, 3, you simply rotate this, and rotate this. Check it a few times with the door open, then close it up. It comes with this little plastic thing here, which is, if you can see that there, it's basically just a little bit of plastic. You could use a coin, a screwdriver, tip of a key. You could use really anything you'd like to reset that combination. Once you've got it open, you can do that. If you've forgotten your combination, there is no real easy way of doing it. You pretty much go through all the different combinations and write them all down. You might eventually get lucky. So, looking at the box itself, made of steel here. It's thick, it's chunky, it's got its locking mechanism on here, it's got its flap that goes over the front, it's nicely presented. Even the front there is some sort of cast, so the actual shell itself is rock solid and sturdy. So I'm going to give you some outer dimensions now. I have my ruler, it's a large ruler, but so I'm looking about 115, but you'd say about 125, just to give it a bit of room from here to here. Left to right, you'd say probably about 80, 83, but let's say 85 to give it a little bit of room there. Depth, 65, but you could say 70, give it a little bit of room there. That's the external. Popping it open. Now internal, I'll give you the measurements, but you have to remember you have to take some size off for this, because when this closes it's actually going to protrude in there a little bit. So max I can get there is about 50 deep, about 62 or 3 wide, and about 95 high. I would be taking off about 25 for the actual combination to lock in there. So if we were to say 55, take off 25, you'd be about 30. So about 30 mil deep. So about 30 mil deep is where you'd want to be there. Looking over the rest of it here, everything is basically as you see it. You put your number in, you pull it down, it's going to open up. To lock it, you simply just push it closed, or you can pull this down and pull it down again. That's the product there. Available from our lock shop, drlock.com.au, and it is the ABUS push button key garage 747. Thanks for watching.